Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Tuesday, June 30th, and this is episode number 58. I'm your host, Rod Bloom, and with me today is the one and only Charles Shinn. You may know him as Alex B. Keaton on Twitter. Easy for me to say, guys. Rough day today, I guess. Follow him at FighterGuy2424. Charles, how are things going for you?
Going pretty well tonight. Thanks for having me, Rod.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good to talk to you again. I had the pleasure of meeting you about a year, well, not quite a year ago, during football season last year. So, hanging out and stuff. Good to talk to you again, and we're hoping we get to do that again here soon if we get lucky.
Yes, that's if luck's on our side.
Yeah, we'll see. We also have my brother Jeff here. Jeff, how are things going for you?
Good, Rod. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, other than my very obvious tiredness, apparently, from working too many hours on the job. So I'll try to rein it in a little bit, guys, and do a little bit better job. So let's start off by talking about the beers that we're drinking with our Blitz beverages. You guys both brought something tonight?
Yeah, what do you got, Jeff?
Well, I'm the non-beer snob in the family, Charles, if you didn't already know that. So, I keep some pretty basic stuff in my fridge. And actually, I was doing a lot of yard work today, so I started kind of early. And I had to give myself a little break so I could, speak clearly tonight.
More clearly than me.
But I just went and pulled a Cerveza Dos Equis out of the fridge, Lager Especial. I just like this as sort of a late night cap to my evening. Goes down smooth, kind of reminds me of vacation. And, I could probably drink these all day and, enjoy them pretty well. I don't particularly like this is the green bottle. I don't particularly care for the amber. But this green bottle I think is pretty refreshing.
Is the amber a little bit too rich for you?
I don't know what it is. I mean, I haven't had it in a long time.
Just a flavor.
So, yeah, I'm just not a fan of the amber, okay. Where the lager I really like.
Nice. Well, I think it's a good choice, Jeff, and I wouldn't stick my nose up at that. Not at all.
Excellent.
Charles, what do you have?
Well, I am a beer snob. I like the best of the best of everything. So I'm drinking these are like $25 a 6-pack. It's called Genesee Light in a blue can. It's pretty fantastic.
Genesee Light, nice.
Oh wait, maybe that was 25 beers for $6. How about that?
There you go.
Genesee Light. All right. I didn't know
we just
Genesee
had some conversation about. We just had some conversation about Genesee the other day, didn't we, Rod?
Yeah.
I used to have it on. I used to have it on tap. The cream ale. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
My first puke beer.
I thought Genesee cream ale was pretty good.
Yeah, the green
at the time.
Yeah, Genesee cream ale is not bad. The green can. Then you got the Genesee regular and the white and red. Not bad.
Yeah. No, I used to go through a quarter barrel of it about every 3 weeks back when I had a lot of buddies coming over for beers.
Not bad. Well, cheers to you guys.
Nice job, guys. I'm drinking. Speaking of green cans, I'm drinking a Carlsberg Premium Danish Pilsner, and I gotta tell you, I was a little bit concerned about drinking this. I didn't have any idea what a Carlsberg was, if this was a good beer or not, and it's pretty good. So I guess it's from the UK. It's like a 5%, and it's in a pint can. So I think I picked this up at Jungle Gyms down here for for $1 or $2 just to try it, and it's pretty good. You never know when you're just buying something you never heard of like that, especially in a can, if it's going to be any good or not. And it's got pretty good flavor. So it's definitely not a beer snob bottle-esque kind of beer, though. That that I would say, look what I'm drinking. So, but it's a good beer. So I think we're all kind of we're kind of all at the same spot right now tonight. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
Nice.
But I am the beer snob, though. Mine is a little bit more, hoity-toity. So you guys got to catch up.
We'll give you that, Charles. All right, Charles. The first thing after the beers that we like to do is to give our guests a chance to kind of just share their story as a Browns fan. Whatever you want to share, just kind of how you became a Browns fan. I don't know if you've been in Cleveland your whole life or not. Just kind of your journey. Either memories or high points, low points, favorite players, things like that. So whatever you'd like to share with us as far as your journey as a Browns fan.
Sure. I was born in 1977, and I became a Browns fan in like 1985. And right after the drive, after I cried, me and my brother, I cried after that. That's when I really knew that the Browns meant a lot to me, even at the young age. I think I was not even 10 years old when that happened in 1987. And that's when I became a Browns. Knew I was a diehard Browns fan. I went to my uncle. My uncle and aunt took me and my brother to quite a few games when we were young. Even back in the day before it was the dog pound. We sat in the bleachers and it wasn't even the dog pound yet when I was really little. Remember going to those games. Remember going to the game where the Browns played the Bears on Monday Night Football and won 27-7. Slaughter ran that, I think it was a 97-yard reception from Bernie. I just got a lot of good memories. Went to playoff games. Always enjoyed Metcalf play. And I loved Slaughter and Kosar's. They're my favorite players of all time. And then I guess when they came back, me and my friends went to a lot of games. Through my work, we got a lot of tickets, took a lot of friends to the games. Even that was a lot of bad times, but we had a lot of fun. Big Tim Couch fan. He got done dirty here, and but a lot of players I enjoyed since they come back. So just always been a fan, and always lived here in the Akron area my whole life. So. Yep, just a big-time Browns, Cavs, Indians, Buckeyes fan. Well, and long suffering like you guys.
kind of in your blood. Yeah, we understand. So people know you as a Browns fan, Charles, but people also know you as an artist from your artwork on Twitter. All the players that you've drawn, all the players that you've shared with people, not just Browns, but Indians and really not even just players, but you put out some other really fantastic artwork to show people on Twitter. So I think everybody would enjoy just hearing a little bit about your path as an artist and kind of just how you got started with that and how you got to where you are right now with it.
Oh, sure. Thank you. I appreciate the kindness and the kind words. Started young. Started drawing when I was really young, as young as I could, as far back as I can remember, and then just continued through high school, and then after high school, I really didn't do much drawing. Didn't really do it, and I just picked it up again a couple years ago, and it's just something I enjoy doing. It's just a talent that I've just acquired over time, and it was kind of like getting back on the bike, and I enjoy it. It's fun to do, and I enjoy sharing the art with all you guys, and and I appreciate all the good responses on Twitter and everything from everybody. It makes me feel good that everybody enjoys it. I appreciate that.
And you've also, by drawing a lot of these players, you've been able to interact with some of them too, which is really cool because you tag a lot of these guys, and a lot of them have either followed you or just thanked you or things like this. So, how's that been for you? That's got to be really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. A lot more of the Buckeyes players have followed, but all the Browns players have responded in some way. All positive except for Njoku. He was really. I forgot to draw his tattoos on his left arm, and he called me out on that. So, but everybody else has been positive. Even Baker doesn't respond to anybody, and he responded. So I was kind of impressed with that. But everybody, it's cool having the players. They respect that you put the time in, and they take the couple minutes out of their day to respond to it, and that these guys are really busy, and it means a lot for them to respond.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's really cool just kind of watching and seeing those guys come in and say something to you, and just seeing the response from everybody when you put one of your drawings out. It's a lot of fun.
I appreciate that, Rod.
So you've also done some work for. I'm just going to plug our sponsor now, T-shirt hooligan.com. You've done some work for them. You have a couple of. How many T-shirts do you have out? 2?
Yeah, I got a few right now. There's a couple that are in progress. There was a little standstill, but everything's back up and running. It was a little slow with the COVID, with the warehouse, but everything's getting back up and running. But yeah, I got a few out there right now, and got a few more ideas as well. So
yeah, so if you guys want to check out some of Charles' work, you can on Twitter go to @HooliganT-shirt or just go to tshirthooligan.com, and you'll find those. They're all Buckeye stuff, right, Charles?
Yeah, for now, but soon to be Browns and some Indian stuff. Got a Travis Hafner out there right now, but T-shirt Hooligans. It's a great company. So yeah, check out T-shirt Hooligans. They'll be there for you.
Excellent. Let's move on to guys. There's not a whole lot of Brown stuff fresh in the news right now, but let's talk about a couple things. Johnny Manziel with a big announcement. Was it today, Jeff?
I first heard it this morning. It might have been late last night. With Johnny, things are liable to happen sometime after midnight.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I wasn't tuned into Twitter too much today, so I didn't see it when it came out. So, but apparently he has acknowledged that his playing days are in fact over.
I think it might have been slightly less definitive than that.
Was it? What did he say?
I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but something to the effect that
they're behind him or something.
Yeah, it's probably behind him or something to that effect.
I wrote down my playing days are over. Maybe he said my playing days are behind me.
Yeah, he kind of said that he's more focused now on finding happiness in life versus finding happiness in football, and that his playing career is, again, just paraphrasing, more than likely behind him at this point. Good for him for deciding that there are things more important than football. And I'm not going to beat up on the guy. I mean, everybody knows what his expectations were and how far short he fell of those expectations. And he did make a comment that it was humbling. He was humbled by the experience of not putting the work in, and the game basically put him in his place. And so, hey, maybe
Yeah.
maybe he's finally starting to grow up.
Could be.
Did you guys watch the Heisman presentation for Joe Burrow? Did you guys end up catching that?
Yeah.
I seen when I was watching that, and I seen Johnny Manziel on the stage. He looked actually pretty darn good from what I seen him in the past. In the last year, from internet pictures surfacing on the internet, he wasn't looking too good, and he looked like he was doing okay on the stage. With the issues that he was having with substance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
hopefully, he continues that in the right path.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, guys, I'm going to laugh about stuff, but I would always hope, and we would always hope for the best for these guys. It can't be easy going from being the big star in college to going to the NFL and having these expectations, to failing, to substance abuse. So yeah, I mean, you hope he turns his life around. You hope he's already done it. And, we wish him the best.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I don't even blame him for his experience with the Browns. I think, he was put in a situation where, he came in very boisterous, but, for ownership to put the pressure on him that they did, it was just an example of the team really not picking well and doing their homework on the guy, and
it wasn't
kind of set
right.
up to fail.
And I mean, here's a question for you: if he gets picked at either number 21 or number 23, do you think he's still the quarterback in Cleveland?
That is kind of a bad luck spot.
22 is kind of doomed. Yeah.
Right.
I would say probably not, but. So,
well,
anyways.
Look, he had a remarkable college career. He certainly had some talent, but there's a big difference between being a successful college quarterback and being a long-term franchise quarterback at the NFL level. And mostly it's about dedication and work, and ultimately he didn't do that. So, wherever he was picked or whoever would have picked him, if he was not going to put the work in, he was not going to be successful.
Yeah, it's between the ears.
Right.
Yeah, completely. So, talking about draft picks, guys. Jeff Risdon of the Browns Wire had an article out this week about the Browns. Actually, two articles. I think they're probably both out this week together. The best and worst Browns picks since '99, in the NFL draft. So we thought we'd have a little bit of fun with that. So, what do we want to do here, guys? Start from 19 and work our way back, maybe. That might be easiest.
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
99.
I thought we'd start with 19 and go back. I think.
Okay.
That's probably a little early to go with 20. So.
Right.
Some people would want to. We'll go with 19 and work our way back. So.
He didn't. Jeff Risdon didn't even include 19 because he feels like, or he felt like it was too early. Guys are still.
I thought he had 19 on the best. I don't think he had 19 on the worst.
Oh, okay.
I think he had Austin Seibert as the best. Did he not? I believe.
Let me look at the article again. Yeah, you're right. He did do 19 on the best, but he didn't do it on the worst.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? Let's do best first for 19 right now. I mean, and obviously it's after one season. It's really tough. For me, it's probably between three guys. But what do you guys think? Who would you pick as the best pick, Charles?
Like I said, it's tough to go after one season, and the three guys I'm going with you're thinking is probably the same as I am: Mac Wilson, and then Seibert, and then Greedy. Was that the 3 year? Okay.
Yeah, those would be the three I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I guess the most impact. Um, gosh, I guess the most impact would be the kicker. I guess it would be Austin Seibert because, yeah, I don't think Greedy impacted as much as he could have. I guess Mac had a couple decent games here and there, and I think he has a lot of upside. But I would go with Seibert because at one point he was unstoppable. I mean, he had a hell of a good season. I know he missed a few here and there, but as a rookie, I thought he had the most impact.
Yeah, I mean, are you guys going to grade this as who you think the best pick is, period, or the impact they've had up to this point?
That's why I was saying up to this point, I guess, just from last year, the impact.
Yeah. So what's your thought, Jeff, as to how to grade it, first of all, and then who you think is the best?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's not a clear-cut guy.
No, there's not.
I mean, Greedy had a good rookie season at a very tough position, where it typically takes a couple of years to mature and come into your own anyway, even if you're a high pick.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I like that pick as a value pick. He went a lot lower than most people thought he would.
Right.
Mac Wilson as a fifth rounder was really thrust into a tough situation with Kirksey going down with the injury. So, kudos to him for playing every down. But he had a tough year. Seibert came in and won the job in training camp. He was serviceable. I think, though, if he loses the competition whenever training camp is to somebody else, I wouldn't be completely surprised. Of those three guys, I'd say Seibert is the least likely guy to be here in a couple of years. So I guess I would have to say Greedy was probably the best pick, considering you took really what's, I think, arguably going to be a long-term starting player at a key position in the second round.
Yeah, I think I'm still kind of tied up between Greedy and Mac Wilson because of Mac Wilson being a fifth rounder. Austin Seibert was a fifth round kicker, which is high for a kicker too. So I'm looking at value there as well. He had a great season, and I hope he's the Browns kicker for the next 10, 15 years. That'd be great. And I like to not have to worry about kicker. Not that it's the biggest position to worry about, but try being a Bears fan. It's good to have a good kicker. So I would probably go Greedy as well, just because of how low the Browns were able to get him at mid-second round almost. So but Mac Wilson's kind of right there too. But I would probably go Greedy as well. So let's move on to. Do you guys want to pick a worst pick from 19? It's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, I think so. It is kind of hard to say.
I don't know if anybody's really failed there. I think Drew Forbes still has a chance to make the team this year, obviously. I don't know is Donnie Lewis still on the team? I think he was. I don't know if he is right now. But he was a seventh rounder. You're not going to slam somebody for being a seventh rounder.
No.
So I don't know. Do you have a pick for worst, Jeff, or should we just move back a year?
Let's keep going.
All right. Let's go back to 2018 and the best draft pick. So, Jeff, why don't you lead us off on this one?
Jeez. You know what? I hate this because I think there were some great picks there. Nick Chubb, I think, is probably the easy choice. Mm-hmm. I have to mention my favorite player. You know where I'm going with this.
I know where it's coming. I know.
who's no longer on the team, but
But he should be.
If circumstances were different, I wish Gennard would have gotten a better shot here. But I mean, I think it's pretty much a no-brainer. Baker, Denzel Ward, they could turn out to be Hall of Famers. I don't know. But today, looking at it today, Nick Chubb is he's clearly the best
he's
player.
most likely Hall of Famer on the team right now.
It's so hard with running backs, but just looking at it today, he is just clearly the most dominant player from that draft.
Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with you right now, and then I'm gonna hand it over to Charles.
Yeah, I'll just segue that. That's a trifecta. Nick Chubb way, and we'll just make it. You want to make it an easy sweep on the worst? Austin Corbett. Everybody agree, or you want to just agree on that one as well?
I think we have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I mean, we waited, and then they pretty much gave him away. I think so. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say Austin Corbett was probably 1, but Antonio Callaway was 1A.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was self-inflicted. Yeah, that's
right. I mean,
at least
Austin
the
Corbett
second
didn't do it to himself.
Yeah, and they knew about it. I mean, this happened at Florida, and then it happened when he said it wasn't his in the car. In his car, it was his brother's or something. And oh gosh, what a mess! And I remember when they cut him. Wasn't it the day of that Thursday night football game or something? Wasn't it? Didn't they cut him?
He was supposed to. I think he was supposed to start that night.
That was against Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right, so let's move back to 2017. So Jeff, you want to lead this one off?
Well, this is another easy one. I mean, as far as best goes. Myles Garrett's going to be a Hall of Fame player. No question in my mind. I think the jury is still out on everybody else in the draft.
Except for the first second rounder.
Are you talking DeShone Kizer?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think DeShone Kizer was necessarily a bad pick there, though.
Right. No, I was being kind. I mean, he could still play, but he was, again, put in a tough spot here.
He was. I mean, a lot of teams would have given him another season, I think, depending on the team. So I don't think he was the worst pick in that draft, but I don't know.
You're right. I mean, jury is out on Njoku and Peppers for sure.
Yeah, and those two, Ogunjobi's good. Howard Wilson, I can't call him a bad pick because he's not playing because of the injury. Yeah. So we don't know what he would have been. And then you're down into 5th, 6th, 7th rounders. I mean, even there, Caleb Brantley was he was a risk reward guy, and he didn't pan out, but he was a 6th rounder. Zane Gonzalez, by all rights, he should still be kicking here. And Matthew Days, he was pretty good when he was here. Roderick Johnson, he didn't develop, so I don't know. Gosh, I don't know. Do you guys have a bad pick there? Oh. Who are you guys going with for a worst?
It's close. I wouldn't say, like you said, I wouldn't say there's a bad pick because the jury's out. But like, if I would say that second round DeShone Kizer, I mean, I guess you could put him there, but yeah, I guess he's not an awful pick there. I don't know.
Yeah. Who do you think's the worst, Jeff?
I'm not, not going to beat up on the guy, but to me, if you're a first round pick and the team goes out and signs a high dollar free agent at your position 2 years later, maybe you're a little bit of a whiff at this point. And Joku better get his shit together this year is all I can say.
I can't argue that at all. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good pick, but yeah, I have to agree with you. And look, I talked on well, it was on another podcast I was on, but yeah, I don't know how many targets he's going to get this year either. I don't think he's going to get a boatload of targets this season, guys. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, he got in the doghouse last year. He dropped some passes. He's God, the guy's a physical specimen. But you have to produce.
Yeah. Real quick, guys, our sponsor, Skippin' Stones, now has a shop on GoImagine.com. Just go to GoImagine.com/Skippin' Stones with a Z. GoImagine.com is a site that donates 100% of their profits to charity, so be sure and check them out today. You can also find Skippin' Stones on Etsy. Now back to the action. So let's go back to 16, the draft that everybody loves, and just can't get enough of the 16 draft.
That's an easy one.
14 picks that year, and none of them are on the team anymore.
Yeah, so aside from Carson Wentz, Jeff, who's your favorite pick that year?
Yeah, I would have traded all 14 for Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I still don't understand that move. And every time I read the name Corey Coleman, it just blows my mind and makes it all the worse.
And one of the guys is still on the team,
Seth Duvall. Oh, Higgins.
Richard Higgins.
Is Duvall still on the team?
Fifth rounder.
That's right. They did re-sign Higgins. My bad.
Seth Duvall isn't around anymore.
No.
He's not around.
Tight end a couple of years ago. Yeah.
I don't think he was on the team last year. No.
Yeah, last year.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he was.
Was he? Okay.
He probably.
It seems like it's been 2 years since we had football.
Yeah, right.
It has, hasn't it?
Yeah. So Higgins still on the team, and that's it from 16. So there's a couple candidates for favorite pick or best pick.
I go Schobert probably.
Yeah, Schobert. Unless you're a huge Higgins fan down in the 5th round.
Yeah.
And Nassib and Ogba made their mark for a while, but that's pretty much it. So Schobert's a pretty good pick in the 4th round. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean that's that. I agree. It's no-brainer. I mean,
yeah.
For him to go out and get the big money this year, congratulations. He earned it.
Right. So has everybody agreed that Corey Coleman was the worst pick?
Maybe ever.
No, we got to go back a little further.
I think Corey Coleman agrees he was the worst pick.
Maybe taken at 15. So yeah.
If not the worst, he's in my top 2 or 3.
All right. Let's go back to 15. 2015 best pick. Who do you think, Charles?
Well,
there's some really big names on this list.
I would say for production in the 3rd round, I'd say Duke Johnson.
Yeah. There's really not much to pick from on this. It's pretty much Duke Johnson or Danny Shelton. Nate Orchard played a little bit. Ibrahim Campbell played somewhat, but not near as much as Duke. So, Jeff, do you have any argument with Duke Johnson?
No argument there.
Okay, so the worst pick, we know who it's going to be. Cam Irving. All right. Let's go back to 14. 2014. All right. The worst pick.
Oh, no.
Hey, can we just put these two guys together?
Yeah, let's do that.
Justin Gilbert and Johnny Mandel. Let's say the first round was just I don't know. I mean, Jeff, you're saying Corey Coleman. Do you think he's worse than Justin Gilbert at 8?
No, I'll accept that.
I mean, he's
Gilbert's probably number 1. Coleman's number 2. Manziel's number 3, or something like that
something
to me.
Like that. I mean, you're probably going back to Mike Junkin or something before that.
Yeah. Yeah. There have been some bad ones.
Bad ones. So those guys are bad, obviously. But I mean, past those two guys, Joel Bitonio and Christian Kirksey are both drafted that year. So I don't know. I'd go Bitonio, right? So you got to pick him over Kirksey. And
yeah.
All right.
I think Desir's still playing it too, isn't he?
Yeah. He's he was a good player. The Browns developed him, then let him go. So,
right.
What can you say?
The Jets now, I think.
2013. Jeff Risdon had the best player taken as Barkevius Mingo at 6, I think. I mean, so how bad this draft was.
Oh my God.
Did any of these guys play? Did Leon McFadden play? I think he played a little bit at DB, but he was a 3rd rounder. Janoris Slaughter, Armani Bryant. Armani Bryant played some, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
he played some, right? So
yeah.
And a 7th rounder. Yeah. Garrett Gilkey, I don't think he ever really got a shot at tackle, did he? He never really started.
No, I don't. No.
I would take Armani Bryant in the 7th round over Barkevius Mingo as the 6th overall pick that year.
Yeah, I agree. I think Armani Bryant probably had more impact.
I think so. I mean,
Mingo had some good years with the Patriots, I think, but for here,
he could barely get on the field here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just one of those tweener guys that, he just did not have a position.
Well, and his arms, I think, are a little smaller than mine. That's what I'll remember about him. And I'm not bragging when I say that, guys.
Right.
Okay, let's go back to 2012 because you could pick anybody from 2013 as the worst, I think. Best.
There's some good, decent players on here that.
Definitely, yeah.
The defensive tackles. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to let you point them out, Charles.
Oh, I was just looking at a couple, like John Hughes and Billy Wynn weren't bad players. I didn't think they were bad. And then Mitchell Schwartz, he left because of money. He was a good player. Still is a good player.
Still a good player. Yeah.
Still is. Yeah.
Then you got
probably the biggest mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not re-signing him.
Benjamin was a solid player too. So there was some decent picks on here.
Travis Benjamin was exciting in the kicking game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very nice players. So who are you guys going with for best? Mitchell.
Go ahead. You
Mitchell
choose,
Schwartz.
Or,
I'd have to go with Schwartz. I mean, he's had the best career, clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would too. And the worst pick?
I don't know. I'd have to say, okay, you guys choose first, and I'll think about it. We got another tie? I don't know.
Yeah, it's close. Jeez.
Well, it's that 22 spot again. It was just a reach taking Brandon Weeden.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did they have to pick guys at quarterbacks at 22? You'd think they would know. I don't know.
Quinn, Weeden, and Manziel were all 22.
And they traded up to get Trent Richardson at 3. They traded up with the Vikings and gave up extra picks and stuff. Man, that was a mistake too. That was just and I think a lot of people probably liked it when it happened. I mean, Jim Brown didn't, but he was, he's the only guy who really knew for sure. I think.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, he knew. But
they did trade up to get him?
They traded up with the Vikings, I think, to get him, if I'm not mistaken.
That was the same draft when the Rams traded to the Redskins. The Redskins traded up to get RG3, right?
Right.
Sounds right.
RG3 went 2, I think.
Yeah, and then I didn't think that the Browns they did trade up. Okay,
I think I'm almost positive they traded up a spot or two to get Richardson, and they gave up a pick or two to give him something. They gave up like a third or fourth rounder to get him, to move up a spot or two.
oh okay,
But that's the way I remember it, anyways. But,
gotcha.
I mean, he had the pedigree coming out of Alabama.
He did.
It was hard
I thought he was
hard
gonna
to
be good.
argue that he wasn't going to be a dominant back. I think the NFL has changed a lot since then in terms of how they view running backs, and he's probably part of the reason. But
Yeah.
I mean, who saw the guy flaming out like he did, other than maybe Jim Brown?
Right.
He called it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll go with I think Whedon had to. I don't know if Whedon might be out of the league now, but he did play a backup role and did okay with the Cowboys. So I'm going to go with Whedon as the better pick. I'll say Trent Richardson was the worst pick. I'll go with that. Final offer.
Yeah, I got to agree, just because of how high he was taken. I mean, that's what I would pick. And I know I think he had one decent season for the Browns, but he did not. Yeah, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. So we'll get back to 2011, guys. Few interesting guys here. I mean, Phil Taylor in the first round, Jabal Sheard. We'll skip over Greg Little, Jordan Cameron, Buster Screen. I mean, there's some decent guys. So who's your pick for the best pick that year?
I would say, wow. I would say per round, I think Buster Screen for fifth rounder. I thought he did okay, just because he was in the fifth round, and he went on to move on to another team, and is actually, I don't know if he's still in the NFL or not, but it's either him or Jordan Cameron.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are both, taken later in the draft. So what do you think, Jeff?
This is another one of those years where there were some pretty good players taken. I mean, if you were trying to add depth to a decent roster, a lot of these guys I think were pretty good picks. Jordan Cameron, I thought he was a pretty solid tight end for a couple of years. He might have had some concussion problems, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I mean, Greg Little was a pretty solid wide receiver for a little while. Sheard's another one of those guys that was more successful someplace else. But yeah, I think Buster Screen probably had the most success career-wise of anybody on this list.
Gotcha. So, guys, I looked this up, and the Browns traded up from number 4 to number 3 to get Trent Richardson, and they gave up a fourth, a fifth, and a seventh rounder.
Holy smokes!
Wow.
So that kind of made it a little worse pick for me. So
okay, that's solidified.
Anyways. Yeah. So
so they had 14 picks that year also, huh? Originally.
They did. Wow. Yeah. They put it all into Trent Richardson. So, or a lot of it. So
yeah.
So I don't know. I think Greg Little was a pretty bad pick that year in 11. But he kind of, the Browns have had a history of bad second round receiver picks too.
Yeah, they had no luck with second round receivers at all.
Yeah, so I got to go with Greg Little for the worst pick there. What's that saying about looks good but can't catch the football or something like that?
Yeah, he had a hard time hanging on to it.
Yeah. So 2010, again, some decent picks, especially if you like Joe Hayden, taking number 1 overall. So TJ Ward, Colt McCoy played for a while for the Browns. So who's your best pick in 10, guys?
What do you think, Jeff? What do you think?
I mean, longevity, Hayden's probably the clear choice. I think he got a bad rap here, you know. It's hard to be perfect as a cornerback.
It's hard to play cornerback now. I mean, you know, it's
Yeah.
probably a little different when he started here in 10,
Yeah.
but it's
hard,
tough.
you know, taking a guy at number 7 and I mean, he's still playing 10 years later at a pretty high level. I have a hard time arguing with that pick.
Yeah, he was a Pro Bowler this year, wasn't he?
Was he?
Not sure. Could
Yeah.
have been. I know he's more likely to be a Pro Bowler in Pittsburgh than he would have been in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know who I really liked in that draft? You know, I think he had a knee problem that kind of sidetracked him. And Risdon says he's the worst pick of that year. Was Montario Hardesty. I mean, to me, watching that guy run was as close as I've ever seen to Tony Dorsett. I mean, he had the moves, he had the speed, but I think he got his knee tore up in his rookie or second season. And he was just never the same again.
It doesn't make it a bad pick.
No, that's
me.
why I'd say it's kind of harsh to say that he was, you know, the worst pick. I thought he was a great pick, and I thought he was a very talented player who just got hurt.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's a guy who kind of, you know, slipped a little bit in the draft, so the Browns took him, you know, possibly. So, yeah, I'm with you. I hate to say he was a bad pick. I hate to get on guys for injuries, really do. So, yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about the rest of these guys. I mean, I know all the names. I just don't remember how much any of them played, you know, to really say that any of them were bad picks. Sean Lavallo played some. I know that, you know.
Yeah.
But the rest of the guys, I don't know if they played much. So let's go back to 2009, and again, I think the best pick's probably pretty easy. Browns traded down about 16 times before they picked Alex Mack at that time.
Yeah,
and they pick up
something like that.
They picked up like 3 6th rounders or something like that, didn't they? I mean, it was such a strange draft. You're like, oh, pick this guy, and then they trade down again. Like, yeah,
right.
But they got Alex Mack, who, excellent player. So you guys aren't going to argue that anybody else in that draft is better than him. So let's do you guys want to say Brian Rubisky's the worst, or David Vicune, or I don't know, take your pick. I don't even remember half these guys.
I'll say Rubisky.
Yeah, I don't think he did much for a second round wide receiver. I mean, Muhammad Massaquoi, I mean, he had concussion issues. He was actually a good player, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, he had no control over that, so he was a good player.
I thought he was a good player too. Rubisky was just taken. I think he was taken pretty high in the second round too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was taken at 36. So yeah, he was taking first few picks of the second round.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah,
that's
Rubisky.
who you go with?
Sure.
Yeah. 2008.
Oh gosh. We just skipped that year. I mean, does it matter?
I mean, best pick is I can never say his name. How do you say his name, Jeff?
Ruben.
Yeah, Ruben. Yeah. Atiba Ruben, however you say his first name. I think he's the best pick.
Yeah, he was. He played for a while.
Yeah, I mean, a 6th rounder. Yeah, he was a good player. I think the pick in the article was Bo Bell because he was the Browns' first pick, but he was a 4th rounder. I mean,
yeah,
you know, how much do you expect out of a 4th rounder? So
Right.
none of those other guys stuck around, I don't think.
Oh.
So we'll get back to 2007, and we're not going to waste any time. Joe Thomas was the best pick at number 3. And
Number 22.
worst pick, maybe number 22 again. Brady Quinn.
Yeah.
Brady Quinn. Yeah.
And I like him. He's really good on Fox. That if you ever watched Fox College pregame show with Urban Meyer, he's damn good.
Yeah, he's good. He was leading up to a career in commentating the whole time, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah. So 2006. Interesting draft. Who do you guys have?
I got my choice.
Well, go ahead, Charles.
Oh, I think DeQuell for sure was the best pick on that draft. Second round. Or Lawrence Vickers was damn good too.
Lawrence Vickers was pretty darn good, yeah. Of course, Jerome Harrison, he's still playing.
Is he playing still?
Is he still playing?
No, I think there's another person.
Is that a different Jerome Harrison or am I thinking somebody else who's been in New England forever?
Yeah, yes, that guy. Yeah, there's a different one.
Is it a different one? Okay. I thought, how's that guy still playing?
Yeah.
He was with the Browns forever ago. Okay, so you got DeQuell Jackson.
Or Lawrence Vickers. Either one. They're both
Lawrence
excellent.
Vickers. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to pick Cameron Wembley over DeQuell Jackson.
No.
So, yeah. I want
another pop at trying to get a tweener guy, and it didn't work.
I was hoping one of you guys would pick Babatunde Oshinawa.
Babatunde.
With a name like that, you just have to stay in the NFL for a while.
Yeah, his jerseys were so cool.
Went to Stanford, so.
You guys remember his name though, don't you?
I do.
Well, and you know what? That's not even his full name.
Oh wow.
I'll take a stab at it. Okay. Babatunde Oluwasegun Turnatopi Oluwakorode Adisa Oshinawa Jr.
Oh, he's a junior too?
The junior's important.
Wow.
Because you're not going to go through that whole name. You're just going to say, hey, junior.
Exactly.
That's pretty impressive.
So, okay. Do you guys have a worst for that season?
2 career games.
2 games. Wow.
Yeah, I don't have a worst. I don't know.
Yeah.
That whole draft was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty decent. So let's go back to 2005. The Braylon Edwards at number 3 draft. Bradney Poole, second round. Charlie Fry in third. What do you guys think there?
It's a tough one.
I know Jeff's going to pick Charlie Fry as the best pick because he likes Charlie Fry.
Well, I mean, when you got a guy who started for you for several games, I mean, almost a whole season, didn't he? Or parts of 2 seasons in the third round.
26 games.
He played over his head for a while. He's a fun guy to watch. I thought Bradney Poole was a pretty good player too.
He was, yeah, he was
for a while.
I got a story about Bradney Poole.
Okay,
let's hear it.
Him and Charlie Fry. Actually, me and my friend Matt were down in downtown Akron. This was on their bye week, and they were down and they had this was I forget what the bar was called. We were down there playing cornhole inside, and they were playing pool. And him and Charlie Fry, and me and my friend actually went up and played. We got pictures with them and hang out with them. And they were drinking beer. We were drinking beer, and we're getting pictures. And Charlie's like, hold on a second. Charlie, he took Bradney and their beer and put them to the side when we were taking pictures. And actually end up Bradney Poole. It's weird because we ended up playing him. He's not a very good pool player, but I really did. I did watch when I watched him. I thought he was a pretty darn good player. But yeah, we had a fun time with him that night. It was cool.
That's pretty neat. Yeah. So you're going to pick either Charlie or Bradney, obviously.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Charlie because he kind of got the wrong end of the deal too. He got beat up. I thought he was a pretty decent player. Rodney was good too. I'll go with Charlie Fry. He's Akron U, and I'll go with him.
I'll go with Brodney just because his name's so close to mine, and the longevity factor. I mean, he played a lot of games for the Browns, so
Yeah.
Not many guys stick around that long. So I like that pick. I don't know. Do you guys think Braylon Edwards was a terrible pick or not?
No,
I don't.
I think other than Johnny, he's probably the second most fun guy to hate. But ultimately, he was a pretty talented guy.
He holds the team record for most touchdown receptions in a season.
That year with Derek Anderson, they didn't make the playoffs in 10, I think it was. Holy smokes, what a season.
Yeah, he had 16 touchdown catches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a team record. I keep waiting for somebody to break it.
Well, in 10 games, they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, he did some good things here. So, let's go back to 04. Kellen Williams, Sean Jones, Luke McCown, and so forth. What do you guys think there? How bad a pick was Kellen Winslow at number 6?
Well, for what's going on with him now, I would say pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's another guy. He did some good things, but man, then next thing you knew, he was gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what it is about the Cleveland environment where these guys just, they flame out. These guys with all the talent in the world, and they just do stupid things.
Yeah, I think you got to say Sean Jones was the best pick that year.
Absolutely.
I mean, he played a lot of games for the Browns. So, and I guess take your pick as the worst. At the worst, whether you
Luke McCown actually wasn't a bad pick as a 4th rounder either. I think he's still playing too.
He might be.
Could be. Yeah. 2003.
Oh gosh.
I won't read all these. What do you guys think?
I know the worst because that's not even close, but the best, I don't know. I have to think about that. I would say Lee Suggs, maybe. He was pretty darn good. Or Chris Crocker. He had a good career.
So okay, Jeff, what do you think?
Chris Crocker was a hard-hitting DB. I mean, he was a good player. Lee Suggs was kind of fun to watch.
He was good for a while too. Yeah.
Wasn't Pontbriand? Wasn't he a long snapper?
Yeah, he was a long snapper for quite a while, I think.
For a long time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, that was probably a pretty good pick. I mean, Fane was a great center. Played a long time, just not here.
Yep.
So there were some good players in that draft. It's hard to really pick one that is head and shoulders above the rest, I think.
Yeah. So who do you think was the worst, Charles?
Sean Thompson. When I seen they picked Sean Thompson and his college, when they're like, oh, he jumped off the page, and when he went to West Texas A&M, and they were 0-10, I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Who's this guy? Who's Sean Thompson? That's my choice.
It's hard to argue with.
Yeah. So in 2002, the Browns took William Green, run.
Yeah.
Andre Davis, and who else?
Andra
Davis.
He was pretty good.
Beth, yeah, he was good. So, I think I'll put my vote in for Andra Davis.
I concur.
Yeah.
And worst pick?
Mm.
Oh, geez. Yeah. William Green was not a bad pick. Didn't have the longest career, had some issues, but had some nice plays and some injuries. Andre Davis was a pretty good receiver too.
You remember the story about William Green with the steak knife?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Just a second, but he had a steak knife sticking in him, and he went to the hospital, and they asked him what happened, and he said he was walking up the steps, and he got stabbed with a steak knife. And they're like, okay, wait a second, something's not right here. They went back and arrested his fiancée or something. He was just trying to cover it up for her. Yeah, if he was walking up the steps, steak knife got stuck in him. It happens.
Yeah. Might have been some domestic issues going on there.
Maybe.
Well, maybe a couple.
So 2001, we got Big Money taken in the first, Quincy Morgan in the second, James Jackson. I don't know if he ever played. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Anthony Henry in the fourth, and a few more guys after that. What do you guys think there? Best and or worst?
I go with Henry is the best.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, the worst is easy because Jeremiah Farms went to prison before training camp, I think.
Exactly.
Nice. Great memory.
Yep.
I'm
glad you remembered that because I did not. But
I mean,
all right.
Gerard Warren is funny. I used to call him Big Waste of Money.
Yeah.
But I mean, he plugged some holes, but man, it just never really lived up to it. Not to be the third overall pick.
Yeah. So let's go back to 2000. Courtney Brown, first overall, and again another guy with injuries. So I'm not going to read this because the Browns had a bunch of picks that year too. So actually, a couple nice picks and a lot of forgettable picks. So what do you think there, Jeff? You got Dennis Northcutt.
Northcutt was a fun player.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just a fun guy to watch. He's the prototypical possession receiver. I think he was probably he had the best career probably out of anybody in this draft. Courtney Brown was Myles Garrett in his day. He just had no knees.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know who the worst pick is. You can't call Courtney Brown a bad pick because if he's not hurt,
he was consensus best player in the draft.
Yeah, it's like taking Miles and having the same thing happen to him before he plays. So yeah. Charles, any argument with Dennis Northcutt?
Absolutely not. I always enjoyed watching him play.
Yeah, so let's finish it up with 1999, guys, and first draft after the return. And who's your best pick there? I think I know who Charles is going to pick. So let's let you lead it off, Charles.
I think Tim Couch. There's some decent picks here. I like Wally Rainer. I liked him. I thought he was a good player. I like McCutcheon a lot. And Kevin Johnson. Those are some really good picks.
It was a good draft. It really was.
Yeah. For that first, I thought so. But Tim Couch, like I said at the beginning, he got the raw deal, and he really did get the raw deal. So I say Tim Couch was the best. That's my opinion.
What do you think, Jeff?
I agree with that. When you throw together an expansion team in a matter of, I think, a few hours, there was, not a lot of upside for these guys. Couch was a great player. He had no chance. Kevin Johnson was a fun receiver. Had a decent career. All the way down into the sixth round. I mean, James Dirth as a tight end played a whole bunch of games. So they drafted some decent players that year. It was a cluster. The team was just a mess.
Yeah, they just didn't have a chance the way things were put together, the way they were thrown together. So, hopefully finally turning the corner on that, guys. This season, So
20 years later, 21 seasons later.
Yeah. So we've run a little bit over. It's been fun kind of going through this stuff, though. So want to give you guys just each a chance to kind of wrap it up. Jeff, you have any thoughts you want to leave everybody with?
No, just thanks to Jeff Risdon for letting us kind of piggyback on his articles. Interesting to kind of go back and look at some of the guys that were taken and sort of second guess. Kind of reinforces how bad our drafting has been for so long, and makes the last couple look so much better.
Totally agree. And Charles, what do you have to say to all the Browns fans out there?
Well, it's looking promising compared to what we just talked about for the last 45 minutes.
That's right.
I just can't believe the names we were just going over, and I forgot half of them, and I'm glad I did. So I appreciate you having me on. It was an honor to be on your show, Rod, and I really enjoyed it. And Jeff, it was good talking to you. Hopefully to see you here at a Browns game soon.
Yeah, we sure hope
too.
so. Hope
You
we
too,
get
Charles.
Hope
Thanks.
we get that chance, Charles. It's been great talking to you again. Everybody can follow Charles at Fighter Guy 2424. Charles, I was going to ask you, where'd that come from? Fighter Guy 2424.
Oh, just I'm into MMA, and that's basically it. And 24 was I was a big Grady Sizemore fan, so there you go.
Gotcha. All right.
Nice.
All right. Well, this has been the Browns Blitz. We will catch you next time.